Good evening, good afternoon, good afternoon. This is a wonderful day. I am so thankful, so happy, so glad that God is such a wonderful God. This is Point of View with Shirley, Cleester, Eula, and Merethah, and my colleagues, my cousin, my sisters. They are not with me today. Of course, many of you who've been watching us, they do have jobs and they're on those jobs and they're enjoying those jobs. So when they get a day off, and usually Cleester has Thursdays off, but sometimes they want her to come into work and she'll go right ahead and go to work, and that is great, okay? But today it's me. I'm going to talk about the thin line. The thin line. And I am, like I said, I'm just so happy to be with you today. And dear God, as I sit before you to speak, I pray to you that my soul you will keep. And if I should die before I finish, I pray to you, dear God, in the name of Jesus, that any outstanding sins will be forgiven. Amen. 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 The thin line, talking about the thin line. And I tell you, there is something to learn about this thin line. So I am going to go ahead and talk about the thin line. And there's some organization that are a business that had done some research on the thin line. Then I'm going to come back to the thin line that I am really going to talk about. But it's so interesting when I started looking at it, and it said, and I just wrote the thin line, and then that came up. And so I said, this is very interesting, and I think somebody else would be interested in knowing what their research came up with, the a thin line meaning. And this is Stephen's Tactics Shop. Stephen's Tactics Shop. Excuse me, Stephen's Tactical Shop. And so this shop did some research on the line, the thin line. And so I'm going to talk about, we've heard people talk about the thin blue line, especially the thin blue line, but there's a thin blue line, there's a thin red line, there's a thin white line, there's another thin red line, there's a thin silver line, there's a thin green line, there's a thin yellow line, there's a thin orange line. So I'm going to start with the thin orange line, okay? The thin orange line. The thin orange line represents search and rescue personnel. And yeah, we've seen that, yeah, like on their jackets, on their vests. So the thin orange line represents search and rescue personnel, and it's SAR is what is it? Anyway, yeah. So then next we go to the thin yellow line. The thin yellow line represents tow truck drivers, security guards, and loss prevention. I never knew that. Research is awesome, isn't it? And the people that do the research and then research what the people have researched, and we learn from that, that is wonderful. That is wonderful. The thin yellow line represents tow truck drivers, security guards, and loss prevention. The thin gold line is another version which represents dispatchers. Okay, now we're going to the thin green line. The thin green line represents federal agents such as Border Patrol, park rangers, game wardens, and conservation personnel. How about that? So some consider the thin green line representing military as well. This is awesome. Then we go to the thin silver line. The thin silver line represents correctional officers. Wow. Thin red line, okay? The thin red line represents registered nurses. The thin red line differs from the other thin lines in that the background is white instead of black. Hmm. Okay, with a red line crossing horizontally through the middle. Wow, I could be sharing the screen with you, couldn't I? Wow, and then let me see. Let me see if I can go and share this screen. Let me go up here because it's neat. because I want you to see this. I really do. So hey, it's not gonna hurt. I have the time because I don't think I might take up the whole hour today anyway. So let's just look at this. Okay. Now let me see here. Do I want the entire screen? Okay. We said how that's going to do. Share. Well, yeah, let me see the window. If I can share the Microsoft tab. Oh, thin line meaning. Okay, there it is. Now, oh, wait, look at that. So now look down here. I did the thin orange line, I did the thin yellow line, I did the thin green line, I did the thin silver line, and the thin red line, which represents registered nurses, and there's a difference between it and another thin red line, okay? Then there's the thin white line right here. The thin white line represents emergency medical services. The thin white line differs from other thin lines in that the background is blue instead of black, with the white line crossing horizontally through the middle. Another version would be black background with white line. And you know what is so good about this? I just thought about it, just came to my mind. Oh, have we finished? No, no, I did. Okay. No, wait a minute. I didn't finish either. Because I was getting ready to say, I know it's some more up here, but I was thinking, like when we're going down the highway, we're walking somewhere, we're doing something, then we can think about it when we see something come up and we see these vests on the people and we see like the cones or whatever. If the cones represent the workers that are working at that time, and we see these, and now that we've gone over this, we can say, oh yes, I know what that represents. Isn't learning wonderful? Isn't learning wonderful? Okay, now we go to the other thin red line. When firefighters are perilled, they place their lives second to those they protect. They are forced to face their own fears and grasp for every ounce of courage to perform the necessary task. The thin red line of courage. You see this line right here, this line right here, thin red line of courage represents the last ounce of courage for firefighters find deep in their blood to conquer their darkest fears in order to save and protect life and property. It is displayed to show respect for firefighters injured and killed in the line of duty. The thin red line originally came about as a description used to refer to an outgunned military unit holding firm against attack. That is so good to know. And even now, when we see these symbols and these thin lines, then we can know what they mean and have even more respect for them. Okay, now the thin blue line is essentially there are there are three meanings. The thin blue line represents the thin line police officers walk daily between life and death. The thin blue line represents the police officer role of separating the good from the bad while creating order from chaos. The thin blue line on black is a memorial or a connection or memory between officers killed in the line of duty and those who continue with their duties in the present. My goodness, that is awesome. So we can see right here Stevens Tacticals Shop. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing that. So we talked about those blue lines, those thin lines. Okay, so now I'm going on and talk about this other thin line. Oh my goodness! And we've seen the movie. Many of us have. There was a was it a I think it was Martin Lawrence and Whitfield. What's her name? Whitfield. Oh gosh, I had her name a while ago. But anyway, you know who I'm talking about. The thin line between love and hate, and we've all experienced this probably too. Thin line. Is there a thin line between love and hate? Is there a thin line between love and hate? And I thought about pulling that song up, but I didn't pull it up. I did not pull it up. But is there a thin line between love and hate? And this is updated on December 16th in 2022, and it's from the site BetterHelp. Okay, BetterHelp.com, and this comes from the BetterHelp editorial team. So let's get right into it. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much, so much for being with me today. I appreciate you. I am prepared today. I have both my cameras up. Because this thing, this one goes bad, I have the other one set. Oh, I am ready today. Okay, so you've probably heard the phrase, there's a thin line between love and hate, meaning that the difference between loving someone and hating them can sometimes be unclear. Many people have also experienced what is called a love hate relationship. We've all heard of these, okay? And some of us, maybe regretfully, have been in relationships like this where feelings for each other are complicated and often extreme. So, while mixed emotions are fairly common, not everyone has had such an extreme relationship. So, this article that I'm getting ready to present to you today from BetterHelp.com explores the reasons behind love hate relationships and provides guidance on things you can do to build more stable relationships. Wow, this is good. This is good. Or similarities with and the line between love and hate. Man, this is super. Okay. Man, woman, lady, gentlemen, this is super. This is super. Okay, and I have my t-shirt on that I got from my cousin, Tasha. Tasha in Denison. And it says, I speak my mind because it hurts to bite my tongue. Okay, I like this shirt. Okay, hi everybody. So hey, just get in touch with Tasha because she has some really nice shirts. She really does. So there are the similarities with and the line between love and hate. Okay, so love and hate are both powerful emotions, and we know that powerful emotions, very powerful emotions. So perhaps the reason love and hatred are so closely connected is that the two emotions have many of the same components. They have many of the same components. Both are intense, is the first section here. Both are intense. So when you're feeling an intense emotion like love or hate, it's challenging to be objective about the relationship. So both emotions can take over your life. If you feel love intensely enough about your partner, you may find yourself living in a situation you would never have accepted before. And I think all of us have probably had some kind of relationship, whether it's romantic or whether it's a friendship or an acquaintanceship or whatever it is, a fellowship, whatever it is. I believe we've all experienced these emotions. Both emotions can take over your life, and that's a fact, okay? So if you feel love intensely enough about your partner, you may find yourself living in a situation you would never have accepted before. And we've been in situations and things have happened, like we've been places, whatever, and we would say, I would never have thought that I would ever have accepted something like that. Have you ever said that to yourself or someone else? Okay, and so both emotions can take over your life. They can just take over your life. So if you feel love intensely enough about your partner, you may find yourself living in a situation you would never have accepted. And that is so true because we have such emotional, let me say, emotion has such an effect on us, okay? To we would, like this says, we would live or in a situation that we never would have thought that we would ever live in because we love that person. Okay? So if you hate the person strongly enough, it doesn't matter what they do for you, the feeling isn't going to go away easily. And that's the truth. If it's the opposite, it's not going to go away easily. So if your relationship ends, it's going to be difficult to simply shrug your shoulder and say, oh, well, it didn't work out. It's no big deal. And so, hey, if it could be that way, wouldn't we be happy if we could just say, oh, it wasn't going to work anyway? I was thinking about that this morning. But that goes into a totally different thing. So, God willing, I'll represent and bring that another time. So, no, you're probably going to have a strong emotional reaction to that loss. And it doesn't feel good. It does not feel good. And I'm sure you can witness it. Hi, thank you for being with me. So, the next part is both are directed toward someone. While some emotions can be directed at objects or situations, love and hate in relationship are diff- directed straight at the other person. I'm telling you, it's directed straight at the other person. I want to make sure that my sound is coming through. Let me look at this, make sure that my sound is coming through like it should. Okay, okay, let me see here. Well, now, so you're going to show me? Yes, it's coming through. Okay, I'm glad about that. Now, I have to make sure that these technical difficulties are, I'm on top of those, okay? So, both are directed towards someone. The love or the hate is directed towards someone. So, while some emotions can be directed at objects or situations, love and hate in a relationship are directed straight at the other person. Straight at the other person. So, because you're precisely focused on someone close to you, you tend to expect your feelings for them to be reciprocated. So, no one else can satisfy that desire. So, when they don't care for you the way you care for them, your disappointment can quickly turn to hate. After you go through it a while, it can quickly turn to something that you really don't want it to turn to. So let me see here. I'm going to reach up here to this camera and I'm going to turn this Bluetooth off because I think the Bluetooth is going to that camera. Okay, now let me see. And what I want to do here, and I will get right back into it. I just want to make sure that I'm doing this. Oh, and I have the wrong name. That one. But that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. You know who I am. All right. So now I will go back to my lesson. Is there a thin line between love and hate? So Because you're precisely focused on someone close to you, you tend to expect your feelings for them to be reciprocated. And then when they don't reciprocate, when they don't feel like you feel like they should feel toward you, then that love turns to hate in many quick situations, and it can do it quickly. Next, both are expressed physically. Oh my goodness. Love and hate are different from weaker emotions. If you have passionate feelings for another person, you likely want to show it through touch. Hate can be the same way, my talking about a thin line. The idea of hurting someone you hate might sound appealing. This doesn't mean that you should act on those impulses, but it's okay to honestly acknowledge the way hatred makes you feel. Sometimes you have to say it, if you just have to say it to yourself, because it's very dangerous to say things out, and those things, I mean, it's good for people if they really intend to do something to say it out, and hopefully somebody will do something before they are able to act upon it. But then if you don't mean it and you're just trying to express something, don't be saying that out to somebody else. But you might have to get to by yourself and say it to yourself, okay? Because you're thinking it anyway, okay? So these are powerful emotions that can be difficult to control for some people, because this world, the things that are going on, the laws that we have, and all of that. If you say something that somebody doesn't like, they will get you in hot water with the law. It happens every single day. So be careful, be careful, be careful. Okay? Where is the thin line? That's the other section of it. Where is the thin line? Where is the thin line? There's a thin line. Where is I hear an echo. So, okay, I do hear an echo. Hmm? All right. You can't have a stable relationship if you don't stay back from that thin boundary between these two feelings. So, how can you tell if you're getting close? How can you tell if you're getting close? There's something. How can you tell if you're getting close? So I think my camera's going to be good today. So what I need to do is back out of this other camera if I can remove that. Okay, I don't like that echo. All right. Now, feelings become more intense. This is under the subheading of where is the thin line. It's like I just said, it says you can't have a stable relationship if you don't stay back from that thin boundary between these two feelings. So, how can you tell if you're getting close? And while I was preparing and going about here doing what I need to do to come on live today and to broadcast, I was thinking, and it came to me is once you step over that line, sometimes you won't be able to come back across it. So there's a boundary. So if you don't stay back from that thin boundary between these two feelings, okay? So how can you tell if you're getting too close? Feelings become more intense, and I believe we've all been in situations like this, whether it's been in a romantic relationship, a marriage, friendship, an acquaintanceship, a fellowship, whatever. I think all of us have experienced something like this. So feelings become more intense. This boundary is more about the quality of feelings than the intensity of them. However, if you're hearing the edge, if you're nearing the edge of the boundary, your emotions can become extremely strong. We felt it, we felt it, we felt it. And sometimes we've moved over that line verbally and can't bring those words back. Okay? There's a thin line. Okay? So, certainly, you can feel intense love without feeling hate. You can feel intense hatred without love as well. So, when you're nearing the edge, you'll likely feel both emotions strongly at the same time or back and forth. And because sometimes we think about something that happened and you get annoyed, you get angry, and then you try to give the benefit of a doubt. Then you have the feelings, okay, well, I do care. Then you go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That's being human, okay? All right. Next, dwelling on hurts. And I am so thankful to God that I am free from all of that. Thank you, God. Hallelujah. That's what I feel like saying, so I might as well say it, okay? Dwelling on hurts. When you let someone see and hear your thoughts, your fears, your weaknesses, it can create the potential for you to be deeply hurt by them. Whether it's an intentional jab or a carelessly phrased comment, it's normal to feel hurt. Now, what puts you closer to the love hate edge is dwelling on that hurt when you dwell on it. It'll put you close to the edge, okay? So you might start out wondering why they would hurt you that way. If you keep ruminating, that means if you keep dwelling on it, keep thinking about it. It said if you keep ruminating, a small comment can take on significant importance and eventually turn into hatred. And that's a fact. That is a fact. I know you know that is a fact. Jealousy increases. Next, jealousy increases. Talking about thin line. Is there a thin line between love and hate? Okay. Jealousy comes from a combination of care and insecurity. Okay. It may start out as deep affection, but your low self-esteem convinces you that you are not worthy of being loved. You begin to closely monitor how they behave in each moment, especially when interacting with someone you consider a competitor. When you feel jealous most of the time, you might begin to hate them for not loving you exclusively. And we've all had experiences, we've all been jealous. Some of us just haven't been jealous to the point where we're violent, verbally abusive, and all that. But then some of us have experienced that also, where we have been verbally abused, physically abused, all of that, okay? So some of us know exactly what this is talking about. Now, the next subtopic here, before we get into the subtopics here, okay? Your possession, you're possessive of them. You're possessive. That jealousy is as cruel as the grave. And you know what? Some people are so jealous of other people that they would rather they be in the grave or in the urn or somewhere else. I mean, for real, lifeless. That jealousy is as cruel as the grave. And we have to really, really, really be careful. Okay? You're possessive of them. Possessiveness typically spawns from insecurity and results in controlling behaviors. Possessiveness. I tell you, This stuff is dangerous too, okay? You might find yourself manipulating situations to keep your partner away from other people. And see, it came to us, didn't it? It came home and said you might find yourself manipulating situations to keep your partner away from other people. And I fess up because some people you should keep them away from, okay? Depending on how those people act toward you and him or her, whichever, what is it, gender you are, whatever it is, you have to watch these people because some people are so disrespectful to the spouse, the significant other, when they have their eye on that person, or they could just be mischievous or what is it, just mean and hateful and just don't want to see people happy. And it says possessiveness typically spawns from insecurity and results in controlling behaviors. And sometimes these insecurities come because you've seen it happen and it's happened to you. Okay? All right. So you might find yourself manipulating situations to keep your partner away from other people. Possessiveness can go even further, though. Okay? It might go further. So you might try to control who they spend time with, what they do, and even what they wear. We've heard of people tell people, this is what I want you to wear. You can't wear this. You can't wear that. I'm not going to have you out there, my wife out here, and my husband out here looking like that and all that, okay? Possessiveness might seem like loving and caring, but at that point, any feelings you have for them are replaced by a desire to have ownership of everything about them. If they resist your control, hatred can follow soon after. And there is a difference between caring for them and wanting them to look their best, to be around the people who are positive for them and all that. We know there is a difference, okay? There's a difference, all right? So our next sub is it's an abusive relationship. And we're talking about you're possessive, you're being possessive of them. And then an abusive relationship. If your partner abuses you physically, verbally, or emotionally, just talked about it, didn't I? You'll be right on that boundary until you get out of the situation. Many victims of abuse have strong feelings of affection for their abusers. So when the balance tips from love to hate in an abusive relationship, the result will almost certainly be dramatic and may even be life threatening to one or both of you. And so we've made excuses so many times. Other people have made excuses. Well, I love him. I love her. And they don't really mean it. They just got upset. So they'll be all right after a while. You can't keep doing that. You cannot. Sometimes that first time might be the last time, and I mean in a negative way. Okay? So don't tolerate any of that. Don't tolerate it. Please don't tolerate it. Take care of yourself. And if you're an abuser, stop it. Stop it. Get some help. I'm praying for you right now. And if you can get help, some psychological help, whatever you need, get it, okay? Should you feel threatened in your relationship, please know that help is available. You can get out of an abusive situation with the help of professionals. Some people might be more comfortable turning to loved ones for assistance, but calling an abuse hotline, and there's the 800-800-799 SAFE, which is 7233, is always an option. Okay? So, how to avoid a love hate relationship? Hate it or love it. Hate it or love it. Okay, I think I want to share this screen with you. I do want to share this screen with you because this is good. I don't have to be seen all the time. I do not have to be seen all the time. So I do want to share this screen with you. So let me share it. Okay? And I'm so happy that you're with me today. I appreciate you for being with me. Is there a thin line between love and hate? Yes, it is. There's a thin line. Okay, there's the number right there, 800-799-SAFE. Okay, and it's always an option. Don't be too ashamed. Don't be too afraid. And you know what I tell you? And Cleester tells you, get some yonder. And then you have to be wise. You have to be cunning in order to get out of a situation. And all I tell you, don't say, oh, you just keep on doing this. I'm going to leave you one day. I'm going to leave you. I'm going to leave you. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. And somebody, people say, don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. I'm telling you, don't be threatening the people and saying, I'm going to leave you. I'm going to take the children. We're going to be gone when you come home one day and all that. Don't do that. Don't do that. You have to have that plan to get out of there. Now, if you have to get out in a hurry, you have those children hanging on your hip, your leg, or whatever, and get out of there the best way you can. Okay? So, hate it or love it. Relationships can cross that thin border between love and hate, but not every relationship does. So, how do you keep from getting into a love hate relationship? If you're already in one, how do you ensure your feelings stay on stable ground for the long run? How do you do that? And now, talking about improving your self esteem. Back in the 90s, I have had self esteem, a show here on what was it, 1040, was it 540, KDFT, one of the radio stations when I first came here to Dallas. And I started talking about self esteem. And I've been teaching on self esteem. I've been practicing self esteem for uh, more, the bulk of my life, okay? So improve your self esteem. That's how jealousy comes in, that's how hatred and envy, possessiveness, and all of that comes in if you don't have the self esteem that you need. Improve your self esteem. That's because you don't need someone else to value you when you value yourself enough. It's nice, but it's only necessary if you don't like yourself. So this is betterhelp.com. Value your independence. It's easy to fall into dependence if someone is there and happy to take care of your needs for you. It might seem like a convenient and helpful sign of love at first, but it likely isn't. All right? So instead, it's often a sign of unhealthy attachment. It may seem romantic to need each other so intensely, but in a healthy relationship, each person strives to meet their own needs. So be sure you take care of your individual basic needs whenever you can. Make your way in the world. Reach for your highest human potential. Go out of your way to do things for yourself rather than automatically letting someone else do them for you. When your relationship is based on deep care and not need, you'll be closer to having a satisfying, passionate relationship for real. Okay, recognize your true rights and responsibilities. This is very important, okay? Recognize your, talking about you, yourself, okay? Recognize your true rights and responsibilities. Now, this question is there a thin line between love and hate? Often we fail to recognize our rights and responsibilities in a relationship. It's easy to blame someone else when you don't separate what is yours to do and what is someone else's responsibility. By accepting your responsibilities, you take charge of them. You give yourself the power to affect change. When you leave someone else's responsibilities in their hands, you avoid feelings of resentment. And there are some people like they want to control you, and so they want to do everything and everything and everything and have you dependent upon them. Some people don't want people to go out and work. It's a good thing, but then you have to be able to distinguish between, you know, is this the right thing, or is this possessiveness, or what is this? Is this excessive control? What is this? You have to look at these things, size them up, and see what it is, because everybody needs some independence. You need some money for yourself. You never know what might go on. And for real, you need to know all of the business that's going on in that house. You need to know what's going on in the house. Okay? Now I'm coming back to, I'm going to stop sharing here and come back. You need to know what's going on. And I know some people have let the one of the spouses or the significant other have all the power, and they take care of all of the bills and all of that. And then when if something happens and they separate, then the other one doesn't know what the dealings have been done, and sometimes they lose things depending on whether the spouse gets the house, and usually the lady gets the house, usually whatever. And if she has let him take care of all of the bills, all of the business and everything, and just sit back and enjoy it or whatever, just let them do it. Then sometimes when they leave you in a whole ball of mess and confusion, and you have to straighten out everything. Let me give you an experience here. We bought some land here in Dallas. And so Elder Davis wanted, now this is not a negative thing, this is an example, okay? He wanted to just put the land in his name because he's used to being, the dominant, the head of the household and everything, but I'm independent too. And so I said, no, I said, we'll put it in both of our names. And so when he transitioned, it was good that I had my name on the deed because I could transact that business, and the way the county helped me and did all the things, for me, and helped me to get things like they should be for me. Then I was able to conduct the business of that land, and be able to do what I needed to do and wanted to do with the land when the time came. But if I had just said, well, okay, you can put it all in your name, and from where we bought it from, then they said if I would have had not had my name on there, I wouldn't have been able to control anything about it. Okay, so you have to really, really be careful, and you have to be smart about business. We didn't have a misunderstanding about it, and there was no, I just told him no, I want my name on there too, and I was so glad that I had him we put my name on there, then I was able to do what I needed to do without a hassle. Okay, so be very, very careful. So people commonly have trouble understanding their rights and responsibilities because the environment they grew up in wasn't a healthy one. So if you feel that's the case, therapy might be a good choice. And mom and daddy, mama didn't work much, but then when she wanted to go out, and mom and daddy, my sisters and brothers can attest to this fact that we never ever saw anything confusing going on in our house. Mom and Daddy, we never saw them fuss, definitely not fight, never had a disagreement before us or anything. I am so thankful for that. But when Mama wanted to go out and work, she went out. Let me see. I remember her working one, two. three jobs, and then she helped take care of some people that daddy used to work for. She was just like their assistant, and she took care of. Then when he died, she assisted her, the wife, in doing what needed to be done for him. And then the wife died, then mama took care of her business and everything and did what needed to have been done with her. And by golly gee, she had told mama, she said, this much money, she had given mama an amount of money, she had told her, so this is what I want you to put in me, on me, before I'm buried. And mama did it. I don't know how much money it was, but she did exactly what she said. I bet that money didn't stay in there. I bet somebody got that money out of there. But anyway, mama did what she said she told her to do. So mama went out a few times and worked. And evidently dad didn't have a problem with it. She didn't work a long, long time. And so who knows? I don't know what he needed, some extra help or whatever. But she always had. Daddy took care of mama and us. Okay? We certainly did that. And they had a good relationship. A good relationship. And I thank God for that. So people commonly have trouble understanding their rights and responsibilities because the environment they grew up in wasn't a healthy one. So if you feel that's the case, then therapy might be good for you. And you can go to you can give me a call too, okay? So build a strong support system. You have to have a strong support system. I remember when we were, Elder Davis, uh, uh, when we were doing we did his funeral and everything, and we were waiting at the, what is it, the VA cemetery for our turn to go in and bury him, have him buried. Then one of the attendants for Sandra Clark's, uh, she told me, she said, you have a strong support system. She certainly did. So build a strong support system. So you've likely heard the advice: don't put all your eggs in one basket. And I was and then as what is it? Don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. I think I mentioned that. So it's great advice in a relationship. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. I know you have heard that probably. Okay, if you're close to where I am in age, you've heard that before. It's great advice in a relationship. Many people take it to mean they should have many lovers at the same time. Oh my goodness, I didn't even think about that. Wow. So this can be damaging though, depending on the boundaries you and your partner establish. Build up relationships with friends, family, people at work, people you volunteer or take classes with, and people you meet in your community. Spend time with a variety of people. Engage in activities that have nothing to do with your relationship because everybody needs somebody sometime. Okay? No man is an island, no man stands alone. Each man's joy is joy to me, each man's grief is my own. We need one another, so I must defend each man as my brother, each man as my friend. And that means sister too, okay? Because we are mankind, okay? Woman and mankind, okay? So it goes for each gender. And that's No Man is an Island, that song. So learn not to ruminate, learn not to dwell on and overthink it, okay? Because ruminating can intensify feelings of hate. You'll be more emotionally stable when you learn not to dwell on problems. And I told you, I am so thankful that what time is that? Oh, I got 10 minutes, have been delivered. I am, I'm so happy. I'm so happy, so happy. So, It's common for people to convince themselves that if they think about something long and hard, they'll find the perfect solution. The truth is that it rarely works that way. The mind works better when it's fresh. Okay? The mind works better when it's fresh. So, what's more, your mind will keep working on the solution even when you aren't consciously thinking about the problem. For example, for example, think of when you're trying to remember a name. And I was just doing it just a few minutes ago, wasn't I? And I still, the woman's name, first name, still hasn't come to my mind. But anyway, you know what these people are saying right here, okay? This team. Then an hour later, when you aren't even aware that you're thinking about it, you suddenly remember the name. Yes, you do. Everybody has experienced that. So having faith in yourself is significant. It's a significant component. Hi, thank you for being with me in avoiding rumination. You can also learn to notice thoughts and let them pass by without dwelling on them through meditation and mindfulness. And so studies have shown that mindfulness has a particularly strong ability to decrease rumination. Anyone can meditate. Anyone can be mindful. The more you practice, the greater the help you will get from your thoughts. And you know what we've been taught? Practice makes perfect. Continue to practice it over and over. I practice it over and over and over again. You owe it to yourself. I owe it to myself. Is there a thin line between love and hate? Getting help with online therapy. So, how can you have a passionate relationship without crossing into hate? If you have low self esteem, feelings of insecurity or jealousy, or even if you're already on the edge of love and hate, counseling might be a helpful tool to move forward in a healthier way. And it could, I'm telling you, it could help us. But sometimes, and I've said this before, in our culture, we've been so hurt and downtrodden. Trust is very limited, but there are people who can help. I'm one of them, okay? I am bound by an oath, by law. I am certified, okay? So if you need help, just give me a call. Studies show that online therapy is effective, and I can do the online on the phone, hey, in person. So, see, everything is made so, uh, everything, we can just get to it right away. Get to it right away. Okay, convenient. And that's what we need. That's what we need. Convenience in order to get the help that we need. Okay? So, studies show that online therapy is effective in helping individuals and couples manage the complicated emotions that often arise out of relationships. In a study published in the Journal of Medical Internet Research, the effectiveness of online cognitive behavioral therapy, that's CRT acronym, that's what I was trying to think of a while ago. See, it came to me, the acronym. Okay. Lynn Whitfield, see, that name came to me. Oh, this thing is telling it like it is, isn't it? So, okay. So, the effectiveness of online cognitive behavioral therapy was examined. Researchers found that online therapy produced significant positive results in those living with symptoms of depression and anxiety. And let me say this about online, on phone, on the line. I'll just say on the line, whichever it might be, okay? It is, you don't have to worry about trying to get there. Don't have to be concerned about transportation. All you have to do is just connect. You can connect with your phone, your cell phone, with your home phone, your tablet, your laptop, your PC. You can connect, and that's what makes it so good. So that lowers the stress factor. Okay, that lowers the stress factor. Okay, so researchers found that online therapy produced significant positive results in those living with symptoms of depression and anxiety. Cognitive behavioral therapy works by helping participants reframe the unhelpful thought patterns that are often underlying problematic behaviors and interactions, including those involving romantic relationships. The findings of this study can be added to an already large body of research suggesting that online therapy is beneficial for individual mental health as well as relationship functioning and communication. Studies have found that online therapy is just effective as in person therapy, and that should be just as in there, effective as in person therapy in many cases. Plus, you'll be able to reach out to your licensed counselor, Laura, outside of sessions. So take a look at how others have been able to get the help that they need by reading the counselor interviews below. And so these are here on this page. There's some uh, things you can read. And here's some counselor reviews. After counseling with Dr. Cotham for 4 weeks, I have seen a huge difference in myself and my relationship with my family. She has helped me to see that what I am doing is good for me and that I shouldn't beat myself up when I do. It says something that might be seen as being too forceful when really it's not. And Dr. Amanda Cotton says Jennifer has been a great help to me and truly gave me the great advice to fix my relationship. And then here's a takeaway. The border between, and this is Jennifer Garland, okay? The border between love and hate can be an emotionally intense place. However, in a healthy relationship, you can feel intense passion for someone without ever feeling hatred for them, and you really can. You may dislike them at times. You won't agree with everything they say. You may even end the relationship and go your separate ways. Regardless, you still love them as a person and wish them the best. If you're having trouble managing your emotions, need to ask a question, or just want to chat, qualified experts at BetterHelp have helped thousands better understand love and relationship. And so, right here, peace of mind counseling. Peace of mind counseling. And you can email me, you can message me, however you get to me, I will reply to you, God willing. I love you so much. I appreciate you for being with me today. And one more thing I want to tell you, be wise. I've said that, be wise and be cunning. You have to be, and you don't have to be deceptive, but you have to be wise and cunning, okay? And then that might look like deceptiveness, but whatever is safe for you to do to get out of a situation, you do that. And even if you do counseling online, you erase those cookies, you erase the history, okay? Because sometimes the significant other, they're going to check your online activity, going to check your phone and everything. And if they don't need to know that you are getting counseling or help, you erase that history. I had to tell you that. I love you so much. Enjoy the remainder of your day. God willing, I will be here Thursday. And I hope Cleve will be with me. And even if you and Merethah have a chance to be with me, I want them to be with me too. I love you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're so wonderful. You're wonderful. Have a wonderful day, okay? I love you. Oh, God, I'm calling on you. Oh, God, I'm enlisting the saints to pray. Can you hear me? Can you feel me? when you feel